Hey sweethearts, it's Kaylee here. Sorry about uploading a day late. Yesterday I had a super horrible migraine and had to go to the ER, get fluids, get medication, and so it was just a super stressful, very tired day for me. So I hope no one's upset that I'm a little late, but this week's topic is fears for our partners. Um, I guess that my fears in general are pretty basic. I am obviously, I worry about PD safety, going into certain restrooms, being in certain areas, things like that. Um, I get awkwardly really uncomfortable and anxious in certain social situations anyway, so I guess that that's just part of that. Another fear that I think I have is that PD would slash will slash can change in general. Silly things like not being attracted to me anymore, or personalities would change so much that we just wouldn't be compatible. Haven't seen any of that yet. Things are still great. I guess, when you're beginning your transition and you're starting to look at different things and get information places, you hear all these outrageous rumors, like people come out as gay after they transition. And so, I've had ridiculous fears like that PD's going to leave me for a cis man or something like that. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just simply stating my fears. What other fears do I have I talked about?
You talked about the fear of passing as straight.
Oh, yes, my biggest fear. I never want to be viewed as a straight couple. I have a terrifying idea. I'm terrified of the idea of what being a straight couple means. And I consider myself to be a very queer person, so it's hard for me to imagine what it will look like one day when we're not seen as any different than anyone else. And I know that that kind of contradicts itself in some people's minds. If you're transitioning, you would think that your partner would want to pass fully. And of course I want whatever PD wants, but in my mind I just struggle sometimes with what that will look like and what that will mean for me to be seen as a straight woman.
Or me asking you to
yeah.
Me asking you to be something.
Definitely. Or PD's assumption or want of me to be something that I'm not. I don't identify as a lesbian. I never have. When I first came out, I was just gay, or then I was queer. So I've never been at that end of the spectrum either. I just don't want to be straight. I don't want to be seen as straight. But as for fears for my partner, I guess safety is definitely just the biggest one. I think we all worry about what will happen in certain places and being careful. Thankfully, we have always been in pretty queer-friendly spaces. I know that this kind of is contradictory to what the queer community stands for, but I only like to go places that I feel safe, and so if I feel safe there, that's where we're going to go. And so in those spaces, you never really have to worry about which bathrooms you go in or what people are thinking or what people assume when they look at you. Right?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't always been that fortunate.
Since moving to Nashville, it's been a lot different. We have to be a whole lot more aware of where we are and what we're doing.
It's a bigger issue that way.
Definitely, but living here, it's a whole different issue. Being an interracial couple is what people look at or notice the most, not that we're two queer people. So I guess that racial divide for me has been kind of scary. But other than that, I think that it's just important to always be on the same page and talking about where you're at like with my fears of PD leaving me or whatever. Just important that, you know, we're always on the same page, and I'm always aware of where PD is, and PD is aware of where I am, and so that, you know, when those times come, because with PD being on testosterone, that time will come where PD, you know, can fully pass. Maybe. But just being conscious of everyone's feelings and always talking about that and being able to work through it. Well, I hope everyone has a good weekend, a good safe weekend. It's about 65 degrees here now, so it's super nice, and we are going to go enjoy some of that weather. Have a good week.